Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day. So far, the CDL versus Warzone drama continues, with Dashy especially getting involved in this one now. Crimsix as well giving his perspective, but Dashy says even the top Warzone players that have made their name over the last couple of years are simply no match for CDL pros, especially if the pros try to go and take their jobs. What do you guys think about this whole convo in the comments below? FormaL also with some very interesting words on his duo T2P. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, this is kind of large on the screen, but here we go. This is Ghosty's overall season on the Los Angeles Thieves. Great year. Didn't finish the year quite as well at the World Cup. Of course, there was talk as to potentially why, you know, no Papania out there and ReeaL and all this. But nonetheless, Ghosty had an excellent season. It's not like his numbers are mesmerizingly good, but it's just in terms of consistency and impact, the Ghosty was almost always the best player for the Los Angeles Thieves. And Ghosty's just had, especially because Thieves, especially at the start of the year, said that word a lot of times, but you know what I'm saying, they weren't good at the start of the year, right? They were basically dead last of the league at some point. So they had that roster of Cammy and Afro. They made the changes. They eventually started to rise up through the season and had some excellent results at the end of the year. There's no doubt about it. But Ghosty was pretty much always there performing from year start to year ends, and obviously coming into the league as he did last year on OpTic Texas, performing as he did. Many OpTic fans wanted him to stay, and I totally get it. In the end, he's gone to Thieves, but he's still making a name for himself as probably the best player outside of the top 4 teams, although let's be real, at the end of the year, the top 4 teams included the Los Angeles Thieves because they were able to beat Toronto at the World Cup. They beat them also at the World Championship. Okay, they lost to them later in the tournament, but you know, Thieves were clearly a top 4 team at the end of the year. They'd come top 4 back to back, and on the second occasion, they were second at the World Cup. So then there was some talk as to whether a team like FaZe were going to try and pinch Ghosty away and make a change for their roster. That no longer seems to be happening, and maybe was never a consideration anyway. And Nadeshot then said on stream as well a couple of weeks ago that, like, look, we ain't letting Ghosty go. If we did that, you know, our fan base would kill us type thing. And it seems like Ghosty wants to stay. It's just, can Los Angeles Thieves put the pieces around Ghosty that are going to take them to the next level, or do they believe there's enough potential in that roster they had at the World Cup, even with potentially other teams around them improving, to keep on getting better going into next season? Attach is an interesting name to consider as well. I thought this was a cool little post he did here, so I thought I'd put it up as well. My guy Dylan here putting in the work, but if you are Thieves and you're thinking, well, you know, okay, is there an upgrade for Nasty somewhere? If we can get Scrappy, then yeah. If we can get Sib, then yeah. Attach is an interesting convo as well as to whether like an Attach Ghosty duo could work. I kind of like it. You've also got to think about a guy like Slasher as well. So there's lots of options in that AR role. I think especially because Ghosty can play either role. Like if you need Ghosty to be the main and play a little bit slower, he can do it. If you want him to be the flex and play a bit faster, he can do that too. And he's a pretty fast AR in general, as you guys can see by his kills per 10. So, you know, there's no real issue having Ghosty with a slightly slower AR, I think, like a Slasher or even like an Attach, for example. But maybe pace is better. And if you put Ghosty and Sib together, then you'd have lots of impact. But then again, someone would have to step it back maybe on some level, as Dashy did, for example, this season on OpTic Texas, and OpTic Gaming, of course, as it was called, as they were called, at the World Cup. Couple of interesting things here from FormaL, commenting on Scump, and I thought some nice words on Scump, of course, but also on his worst teammate ever, which is quite the statement, really. But FormaL, of course, came up into Call of Duty, let's just say from the Call of Duty days, very quickly indeed. Was team hopping his way through COD Ghost, and then by the start of Advanced Warfare was on OpTic Gaming with what very nearly eventually became the Dynasty. Of course, it was Natural initially, then it was briefly Enable, then it was Karma. But after that all came to an end, FormaL then goes to Luminosity Gaming towards the end of the season, stays on the organization into Black Ops 4, and then this is what he has to say.
Who was your best / hardest teammate to get along with? Hardest teammate to get along with? Probably Gunless in BO4, but he's changed. I talked to him after at the OpTic after party or whatever, after they won champs. Seems like he's changed a lot for the better. Proud of him. Takes a lot to realize that you have like a problem like that. It's like hindering your career, basically. Pierce is always really good.
Hey guys.
You just use this gun only, Seth? It's just the best shit?
AK. No,
oh, the AK.
the whole game. Yeah, I just picked this up.
Oh, fuck. Just like that.
That's how I'm rocking.
You might be the best pub player of all time. Thoughts?
Somebody clip that! Yeah, it's actually insane.
You might actually be the best pub player of all time.
That's what movies is made of.
What the fuck?
This is what movies is made of.
You've been waiting years for that? Yo, Victor, thank you for the prime for 43, bro.
No, like you're gassed, but it's actually kind of annoying, dude. Because I feel like I'm having a great game, and I check the scoreboard, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Interestingly enough, FormaL and Gunless teamed together again, did they not, into Modern Warfare 19 on that Chicago Huntsman team. So there were clearly problems, but it maybe wasn't bad enough to prevent them teaming together, because obviously Gunless is very talented and still is. And there is also a question as to whether Gunless will, you know, I mean, look, he was back in the league this season, but he's not been the player that maybe he was before. Whether he can get back there, that's another question. And also the words from FormaL on Scump, right? I think that anyone that's watched Scump's gameplay from back in, you know, Black Ops 2, I would say, especially Black Ops 3 also definitely counts with the 70 challenge that he did. Like, the best pub player of all time, and just, you know, the best player in many respects of all time. Absolutely no doubt about it, right? Compared to some of the other pub stompers back then, you know, Scump was more legit as well, because people would, like, boost and reverse boost, or whatever the case was. Scump never did any of that BS, and he was always absolutely cooking. Let's talk, though, about some of the Warzone drama, because it's continued over the last few days. I do wonder, really, like, are these Warzone guys serious, or are they just impression farming for clicks here? But I did think Dashy's comments went maybe even one step further than I thought they might. So MettalZ made this take the other day. HyDra, Shotzzy and Simp teaming together in Warzone for a year. They would run the show. That's his take. And other guys were like, what are you talking about? Super Evan says, like, okay, they might be a top team, but they wouldn't run the show. And MettalZ basically went on to say that Super Evan was saying they wouldn't even beat my team. So look, fair play, have the confidence or whatever. Of course, the argument from the competitive COD scene would be you wouldn't need HyDra, Shotzzy and Simp to run the show. You get any three players from the league, put them together. They're going to be grinding Warzone for a year. They're going to be running the show. So I'll share for you guys here what Dashy and also HyDra and these other guys had to say. I think HyDra even said something like, I'm going to retire these guys. I don't think it's in this specific clip, but so maybe HyDra at some point will fancy doing exactly that. But Dashy was talking about it, and what was interesting, I thought, was the fact that Vikul, Shifty and Hisoka, that is that Team Falcons as they are now, team of three that have frankly dominated Warzone for the last couple of years, won the World Cups, only one World Cup, you know what I mean, won the World Cup, won the World Series of Warzones, and they've been practically unstoppable, to such an extent, of course, that Vikul was rumoured to have been offered a spot somewhere, we don't really know where, and there was lots of debate on it, because I think Repulse was saying that, yeah, he'd been offered a spot, and then Ace was saying, no, he hadn't been offered a spot, or whatever, I don't know. I think there was some discussion about it, maybe it was Los Angeles Grillers, we're not really sure what the situation is, but Biffle's clearly a talented player, and obviously Shifty is the bag right, or whatever he said, like if the bag is right, and then Hisoka is also part of that trio, but Dashy's perspective is, yeah, like even those guys are just not good, and we'd still run them in chows.
I was in a, I was fighting. I was like, I was arguing with Super Evan, Shifty. I was arguing with all of them all night. I was calling them all brain dead.
Wait, like in a DM, like an actual DM?
No, like in person.
Oh, in person.
Super Evan was telling me that you, HyDra, and Simp with a year of practice wouldn't even beat his team. And I was like, okay, who's your teammates? He said, you wouldn't know him. I said, so you're telling me Simp, Shotzzy, and HyDra,
bro, it's the stupidest fucking argument,
with a year of practice aren't beating your no-name shit roster?
Dude, I don't... I like everyone's arguing for views, right?
Oh,
no,
definitely
I think they believe it.
Yeah, they definitely believe it.
Dude.
Which I have no comment. I'm not gonna lie, I have no comment. They're all dog shit. I'm chilling.
Bro, it's like comparing ping pong to tennis, dude.
Wait, are we on the Warzone combo again?
Don't take it serious.
Bro, this shit's not even worth talking about anymore, bro. They're delusional.
Nah, they weren't understanding. I was trying
By the way, these Warzone kids are actually delusional. I feel like they'd be saying shit.
No, I think they're just clip farming.
For baiting. They're just baiting. They're rage baiting.
No, they're actually rage baiting.
They're doing it for the impression, so the whole community comes in and says,
I'm not even joking. They don't. Every time we play them, I swear to God, they actually don't kill me.
Bro, it's not even a. What just happened? It's not even a debate, bro. Bro, if you guys started playing Warzone and tried to take it seriously, you guys would shut all of them.
If there was at least just one, if there was one kid that was actually decent, that was like repping them, that would actually be tip. But they're all just all horrible.
I mean, the only three are really what, Shifty, Biffle, and Hisoka, right?
I don't know. We played those guys in the channel, and like I swear those guys just wanted to donate money.
Oh, you guys were? Was it S&D Chows?
Yeah. Oh, trust me, they're not playing Hardpoint.
Yeah, respawns would be bad.
So I do wish some of these guys put their money where their mouths were, like a little bit more, right? Because, like, to be fair to guys like Biffle, even though he's considered the best, he doesn't really get involved in any drama like this. He's like, look, whatever, I'm just going to do my thing. I'll play some chals against these guys. I'll respect what the CDL pros are about, but I'm going to make my bag winning every single tournament in Warzone and buy another lab or whatever, right? Whereas guys like Shifty, who obviously do kind of get into these conversations sometimes. I remember he did, I think there was some discussion that they might play a Challengers tourney. I think even Shifty said it, that he was going to play maybe the first Challengers Open of the year or something. That never happened in the end, and I get it, right? But look, if you are going to say this from either side, at least kind of run it up right and say, okay, I can't compete with the CDL players. I'm going to do this. I'm going to prove it. And I'm going to get into that position, right? And I also think that in the long term, it would be good for the league if there was interest in making that transition, right? Because I'd love to be able to live in a world again where the highest ambition of any Call of Duty player was to be a professional in the league. Nowadays, for many of these guys, the ambition for many of them is to be a Warzone player, right? Because there's so much money to be made over there. They've got their own league. Obviously, they're at the World Cup and everything. That's, you know, that's honestly what they're going for at times. If you're a Warzone player, you're pretty happy with being a Warzone player. You're not necessarily thinking, oh, well, you know, the next level is to get to the CDL. I think a lot of Warzone players do obviously think of it like that because they recognize that that is a higher degree of competition. But it's just the reality of Warzone existing, especially as it is nowadays, that these guys are understandably happy to kind of, you know, be where they are than try go one step further. This is pretty wild from Dashy, by the way. And look, I guess this will become pretty standard Omni movement at some point, but especially even this kill here. So slides around the corner, but then he jumps and then even ends up going backwards somewhat, and then the re-dive round the corner after popping the stim shot. And I don't imagine the stim shot thing is going to be allowed in competitive, but you know, this was pretty disgusting, right? The slide, backwards jump, dive round the corner and absolutely gun this guy. Like, that is the way that it's going to be done. And I mean, I'm not saying, oh my god, I can't believe Dashy did it, he's an AR. Like, Dashy is a disgusting player in his own right, and he could absolutely, if he wanted to, you know, play a more fast aggressive role, do so, as he has done in the past. But of course, this year he was very much the hill kitten, and that worked out rather well indeed. And here's Crimsic as well. I thought it was just cool to see him back on the game and absolutely flying as well here on this, what is it called, like derelict map or whatever it's called exactly. It's maybe not the best, and we might get some new maps at some point with any luck indeed. But very much interested your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
30-ish?
Oh, I was way more than that, bro.
Yeah, but I'm 5'8" and I was all fat. There wasn't an ounce of muscle on that body.
Well, did you like being fat as fuck or not?
What? Brother, no one likes being fat as fuck.
What the fuck?
No, brother, no one likes being fat as fuck.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, dude, you never know, dude. I feel like, I don't know.
What that, bro? What the fuck?